Hi all, so after my first After the Anime video did quite well, I decided to do another one for 86, right after the anime finished. And measly 3 months of procrastination later, here we are! So, what does happen after the beautiful end of anime reunion between Lena and the surviving 86 she commanded? Let's dive right in at the beginning of Volume 4. Since Shin and Ko left, Lena has apparently become a god-tier strategist, and despite the Grand Moor Wall being broken and a tidal wave of Legion crashing against the Republic, she's managed to lead the remaining 86 to defend and survive until the Confederacy is able to relieve them. Hooray! Right? Well, I have some reservations about whether the Republic was worth saving. You would think that surely, after being rescued by a combination of 86 Confederacy forces who are now providing aid to them, the Republic's Alba would lay off on the whole racial supremacy thing. And you'd be wrong. They double down on their lunacy and act like racist pricks to the people who are literally feeding, clothing, and protecting them. The Confederacy commanders are apparently way more forgiving than I would be, so in this arc, we have Shin, Lena, and Ko returning to help the Republic. As they head out, we get some relationship and comedy fluff, with 2 new cast members being introduced. Shiden, aka Cyclops, is an 86 captain and a close subordinate of Lena's from the Defense of the Republic, saying that she is assertive and provocative both in her actions and character design would be a bit of an understatement, and she is a thorough badass. Oh, it's also worth mentioning that it is heavily implied that she has romantic feelings for Lena, and coincidentally frequently gets into fights with Shin. Our other new character is Dustin, Shiden's polar opposite. He's a good-natured honor student and the only Republic citizen who volunteered to join the 86 strike package. Enju has helped him get up to speed with piloting, and he's developed a huge crush on her. Also worth mentioning is that Annette has returned, and is a technical officer for the squad. She's still feeling guilty about the whole throwing Shin's family under the bus thing, but apparently he doesn't remember. Okay, character introductions done, let's get back to the rest of the plot for this arc. The goal of Lena and Ko's mission is to try and retake the northern capital city of the Republic, Cherita, and destroy 2 giant legions set up in Cherita's subway system. There's a Wiesel, which is essentially a factory legion which produces other legion, and an Admiral, which acts as a power plant of sorts. Apparently, just bombing the subway to crush the legion under a pile of rock isn't a possibility, so Shin and his squad get to run into the maze of the subway tunnels with their mechs and pray that nothing collapses on them. In the subway system, the Legion has prepared lots of lovely presents. First, there's suicide bomber mechs designed to look like humans and explode in the face of anyone who has too much mercy. And surviving Alba, who are more or less brain dead, just to complicate matters. As the strike package are having fun wading through those 2 nuisances, a new Legion unit shows up. The Phoenix. German for Phoenix, because you have to give mechs German names. It has full cloaking and moves at insane speeds, making it close to invincible. It wipes out the entire squad guarding the surface operations, and Annette is then kidnapped. In the subsequent rescue mission, we discover that after breaking through the Republic's Great Wall, the Legion have captured and conducted experiments on thousands of Alba. So yeah, loads of human vivisections with brains being removed while the subjects were still alive. Pretty darn grim, even for this series. Anyways, as a result, the Legion now have gathered enough information about the human brain to build central processors which are capable of full human intelligence, and thus produce the highly intelligent sheepdogs, Legion units with near human intelligence. In a nutshell, the Albas just gave humanity a giant middle finger by providing a lot of raw material, human brains, to the Legion. All these newly intelligent Legion produce enough cries to knock Shin out for a bit, and have no observable effect on the war going forwards otherwise. Anyways, the subway gets cleared out, Shin manages to defeat the Phoenix in single combat by the skin of his teeth, and micro machines within the Phoenix containing its consciousness escape. They take the form of Zelene, the creator of the Legion, tells Shin, "Follow me," and peace out. So, at the end of this arc, no named characters have died, the mission was successful, and the strike package is off to find Zelene. On to the next arc. Following their successful mission in the Republic, the strike package are shipped up north to the despotic, ice-encircled monarchy known as the United Kingdom. No resemblance to the UK of Earth. Einsteinfliege, you know those robotic butterfly things, are being used by the Legion to blot out the sun and send the whole kingdom into an eternal winter. This brings up a lot of questions, like how many butterflies would it take to blot out the sun across a whole kingdom? Is this really the best way the Legion could be using its resources? And if it is an effective tactic, why doesn't the Legion use this anywhere else? None of those questions will be answered, but let me take your mind off that by introducing our next cast member, the literal necromancer Vika. Vika is an Esper with the power of super intelligence. What has he done with his power? Well, as a kid, he used it to try and resurrect his dead mom. This fails, but instead, he managed to create an AI. He uploads his research to the net because what could go wrong with making AI information public? Well, the aforementioned Gideon Empire researcher Zelene uses this AI to create Legion, so quite a bit as it turns out. Anyways, Vika then takes another tack with Resurrection and creates the Sirens, artificial humans made with the brain structure of deceased combatants, and uses these Sirens to pilot Alkanostes, the UK's mechs. This, to me, seems to just be a more inefficient way of creating Legion. But hey, maybe Vika feels the fringe benefits of the Sirens being cuter makes up for it. Oh yeah, also apparently he's supposed to be evil because of the whole technological necromancy thing, but when the alternative is just having more humans die instead, I don't really buy it. So yeah, more questions there, but let's jump back to the main plot. The strike package's next goal is to capture Zelene, whose consciousness is currently residing in a Legion Amiens unit, and they set out into the snowy wilderness to find her. What follows is a lot of fighting. In the snow, on mountains, under mountains, over lava, and in the end, Shin and Co. defeat the Phoenix, again, and capture Zelene. They have to walk over a literal mountain of siren corpses to get there, and are all very traumatized, but no named characters die, once again, so all's well. Oh yeah, and Dustin also confesses to Anju in this arc, and gets neither accepted nor rejected. Props to him for trying. Following all that fighting, we get a fluff arc. Huzzah! The strike package is shipped to a mountain resort, and we watch as they chat, giggle, have pillow fights, and jump in hot springs, because no light novel with rom-com elements will ever be complete without hot springs. As for romance progression, Dustin gets a dance with Anju, but no luck past that. And Shin? Well, Shin actually confesses to Lena, which is an amazingly touching moment. Lena responds with a kiss, and then runs away, leaving a poor, confused Shin in her wake. So, we get some progress, but the author apparently felt we really needed another arc of angst before things go any further forward in their relationship. Amazingly, there's also some main plot progression in this arc. Shin and Vika interrogate Zelene, and eventually manage to get some critical information out of her. There is a secret base with a transmission point, and if someone with pure DNA from the Empire's royal family is presented, all the Legion can be shut down. So, you would think the next step would be simple, right? Find the base, take Frederica there, and shut down the Legion. Well, hold your horses, because we have a couple of side quests and flashbacks before we get to start that plotline. The first of our side quests takes us to the Regicide Fleet countries, a series of coastal nations who focused on hunting leviathans, Yes, sea dragons that shoot laser beams are a thing in this world. Do they matter for the plot? Well, I guess they explain why people haven't fled across the sea to escape from the Legion, but otherwise, not really. Anyways, the Regicide fleet countries are being attacked by a Morpho, aka the Railgun Legion, which is camped out on an island. So the strike package is shipped in for an amphibious assault. It is a tough fight. The Legion bring in some Phoenix units, and the Noctiluca, a frickin' battleship unit with railguns. Anyways, Shin and Co. still manage to win, but this time there's casualties. Shanna dies. But then again, who the bleep was Shanna? As you can probably tell from the fact that I only just mentioned her, when she died, she was barely relevant to the plot, and I assume just added so the author had someone to kill off. More relevantly though, Theo loses an arm. This event actually seems to have more of an impact on most of the cast than Shanna's death. Theo's been mulling about his path forward the whole arc, and this more or less forces him to decide what his life will be outside of the war. This whole discussion of life after war has been in the background for most of these novels, and this event brings it to the forefront of the minds of most of the cast. On the next side quest for the strike package, they're off to the holy Theocracy of Noriyanra. However you're supposed to pronounce that. In the Theocracy, they have a nice little dystopia that's breaking down. Typically, everyone's job in this country was determined at birth. But since the war with the Legion has been kind of brutal, the only members of the warrior class that remain are child soldiers. So society has finally decided to allow other people to fight. Unfortunately, this only happened after the Theocracy arranged for a tragic accident to befall their military leaders, so their new leader, Hilna, the daughter of their old leaders, could be an inspiring, tragic figure. Yes, they gave control of their military to the daughter of the people they just killed off. What could go wrong? Anyways, the Noctiluca is on land now and attacking the Theocracy, so the strike package teams up with the holy child soldiers to take it out. Before all the fighting starts, Lena confesses to Shin, and the two are now officially a couple. Finally! Karena confesses too, but obviously it doesn't work out for her. She then starts angsting about what her purpose is and what she's doing in life, seeing her sole reason to exist being to fight. Oh, and a squad of half-blood nobles from the Empire comes to help too. They all have tragic backstories, being abused in their childhood, so they fit right in. Then, the action portion of the story starts. All the allied mech units are launched by stealth glider into enemy territory, and their attack is mostly successful. But Hilna goes and backstabs everyone. She's pissed that her purpose, to fight, is being stolen now that the Theocracy is letting other classes fight too. So she decides to get revenge by making it look like the Theocracy betrayed everyone else. Unfortunately for her, her child soldiers aren't all that well trained. The Empire nobles go and slaughter a bunch of little kids with the help of adults from the Theocracy, and the strike package is still able to take out the Noctiluca railgun thing. Karena, from watching the little psycho Hilna, decides that maybe she doesn't have to have her whole purpose be to fight. Then, as this arc wraps up, the location of the secret base to shut the Legion down from is found. So, time for some flashbacks. Hey, did you ever wonder how Shin got his scarf? Where he got the nickname Undertaker from? Why he started collecting scraps of metal to remember his comrades by? Well, if you're dying for those types of minor anecdotes, then this arc is for you. Here, we learn all about Shin's depressing backstory as he goes from one squad of 86 to the next, while watching all his comrades die over and over again. The one highlight of this arc is that we also get Fido's backstory. Fido was initially created as an AI dog by Shin's father, and when Shin and his family were shipped off to fight, Fido transferred his consciousness to a scavenger so he could follow. Fido's support for Shin is genuinely touching and brightens what is otherwise a pretty dark arc. Also, Fido's inner monologues make him sound like an elderly British butler, which I found oddly hilarious, but maybe that's just me. From there, the next arc will go towards finally starting to finish things with the Legion, but it hasn't been translated that far yet. So, on that note, we're up to date with where the light novels have been translated into English. I hope you enjoyed this video, and my apologies for the long gap between the last one and this one. Thank you all for listening. Cheers!